deep inside my soul, lost inside this darkness that I cannot control. So held back by this fire inside my beating heart. What else can I do when my world falls apart? In this place I drown in my tears, my fears, my God, what have I done? In this place away, in the pain, no gain, nothing fetched, nothing won, but I had my fun. You say I don't see it, maybe I just need new eyes, because the hardest thing to see is when you need to say goodbye. Waiting here, and I cannot go home until I find my demons wherever they may roam. Something deep inside, like stealing your regrets. Drowning is the easy part if they haven't got you yet. When my world falls apart, in this place I drown in my tears, my fears, my God, what have I done? In this place away, in the pain, no gain, nothing fetched, nothing won, but I had my fun. You say I don't see it, maybe I just need new eyes, because the hardest thing to see is when you need to say goodbye.
Every clip a new trial, voices loud, they scream, they compile. Shadows of her past they cling, they chase, like a ghost in the frame you can't erase. Echoes of yesterday, they won't let her go. She's not the same, they don't wanna know. She's coming higher, but they pull her down slow. Echoes of yesterday, louder than they should grow. Every upload, a crack in the skin, fighting battles they won't let her win. Change her colors but they see black and white. She's in the ring alone, swinging for the light. Why can't they see? Why can't they see the woman she's trying to be? Echoes of yesterday, they won't let her go. She's not the same, but they don't wanna know. She's coming higher, but they pull her down slow. Echoes of yesterday, louder than they should grow. Why can't they see? Why can't they see the woman she's trying to be? Every upload, a crack in her skin, fighting battles they won't let her win. Change her colors, but they see black and white. She's in the ring alone, swinging for the light. Why can't they see? Why can't they see the woman she's trying to be? Echoes of yesterday, they won't let her go. She's not the same, they don't wanna know. She's coming higher, but they pull her down slow. Echoes of tassels from broken bones. Every scar, a story untold. She's a phoenix rising, wings of gold. Echoes of yesterday. They won't. Every whisper pulls her back, back, back. Eyes like daggers in the dark, but they don't see her spark. What do you want? What do you gain? Dragging her through that old chain, chain, chain. Let her be free, free, free. She's not who she used to be. Stop taking craze for ghosts unseen. Let her be free, free, free. Every mirror reflects what they won't erase. Every river pulls her back, back, back. Eyes like daggers in the dark, but they don't see the spark. What do you want? What do you want? What do you gain? Dragging up through that old chain, 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 chain. Let her be free, free, free. She's not who she used to be. Stop taking craze for ghosts unseen. Let her be free, free, free. Every mirror reflects what they won't erase. Grace. But she's climbing now with bloody hands. They don't understand. Let her be free, free, free. She's not who she used to be. Stop taking craze for ghosts unseen. Let her be free, free, free. Doesn't know this. Point you shout, you try her name, but your chains won't hold the same.
Hey. All right, I know that was a little long intro, but I'm not technically supposed to start till 12:10, so I decided to play the long intro ahead of time. What's up, everyone? This is not going to be a long live because I have a lot to do. I got orders I got to fill and get out. Plus, I got to update the website. I got to go food shopping. You know, it's Sunday. But I felt like I needed to lay stuff out properly because it's all over the place. And I was listening to somebody try to review last night, and it really was like all over the place. So I wanted to lay everything out very simply, very easily, and this way everybody understands the biggest fucking scam that this community has ever seen. This is worse than Natasha Cooper. This is worse than probably any scam I've ever seen. And believe me, I've been around a while. I've seen a lot of them. But this one tops it, probably because it's illegal, it's a government entity, and it's not just about money. Yeah, last night everything was happening in real time, and you know, there was a lot of back and forth, but me and UA put together something that every fucking channel should be blasting right now. Why they're not? Probably because it's me and UA. But every single channel should be blasting this. So I figured it's easier to lay it out properly. So here we go. And Spiked Mountain Dew, thank you so much. I also want to say if anybody wants to use pieces of this live, that's fine. I'm not a striker unless you're a fucking asshole. But even then, I usually don't strike. Feel free to use it. I have no problem with it. And you don't have to like me to use it. So Brittney J kept telling everybody for a while that she has this drug test. There have been so many different stories about this drug test. Whoop, hold on. Hang on. There we go. There have been many different stories about this drug test. It's been at her house. It wasn't at her house. It was at her house. It was at a lab. She had an hour to get there. A million different stories. Which one is correct? I don't know. Which one is the right story? Who knows? But I'll tell you what is a blatant lie. This drug test and the amount of people that she has gotten into this story is even more sickening. And the amount of people that she has lied and who are lying for her, they need to lean in and you need to really listen. Starting with the drug test she showed on Moons. She had originally sent a drug test to Angela, Clips and Giggles, and Moon because they had her back. They wanted to show her that she is, doing the right thing. She's not lying to anybody. The drug test came back negative. Suck her ass, haters. She had Moon and Angela backing her this whole time. I'm going to show you the video that Brittney gave permission to Moon to show on a live. One thing I noticed when I was pulling it up, I didn't realize my camera was on yesterday and I was like eating. But yes, you see me when I first wake up in the morning. I had not showered. I had not done anything. So don't mind me in the corner. Just want to tell you that. Don't mind me in the corner. I didn't even realize I was on it. But yes, you see my hair. That's grown after chemo. And what I really look like, hey, Tony, so just ignore the girl in the corner. Oh. So I know it's blurry, but this is the drug test that Brittney had given to Moon. And I know it's blurry. I know it's hard to see. I apologize, but you can get a general idea. She then shows it again. And I really wish it wasn't blurry, but you can see generally the way it's laid out. Take notice of the font on it and the way it's laid out. Very important. And then she shows that's the top of it. And everything is handwritten with it as well. So if you look at the chat, everybody is going on about how wrong we are, what assholes we are, how the test could be from a president, and, we would still say it's a lie. That was the continual comment. Everyone from JP to Brentley to Brittney. Brittney also states, I tested negative for methadone. Queen Bella's, it's sad, they don't believe this, so on and so forth. Something in my gut told me something was off. Now, Moon and Angela Clips and Giggles both got the exact same test. The person that sent it to Moon also sent it to Clips and Giggles. So now I'm going to show you what Angela Clips and Giggles showed me last night. Same thing that you just saw on Moon's, but much clearer and laid out. Hold on one second. I actually had it pulled up and then I had to shut it down. So bear with me a second. I just got to go into that email. Okay. Let me just cover her name. Now, again, this is the exact same test that we just saw on Moon's, but here's a full version of it. It says it's from Scotland Healthcare System. Now, keep all this in mind. It says it's from Scotland Healthcare System. It says it's an instant drug screen result form. It shows Scotland County Social Services, no DER number, no address, and just city and state. Okay. Then it says, donor information, Brittney's signature, caseworker signature, a lot number, expiration. Now, just so everyone knows, this expiration isn't the expiration of urine. It's the expiration of the quote unquote actual testing. It says it's a 10-panel test. Manufacturer name is CLIA, and it shows negatives. Okay. Now we see that MDMA and TCA are not checked. Looking at this the way it is, none of us would have a reason to question it, quote unquote. I mean, from a quick look, it looks legit. What do I know? I don't know what CPS test. So I was looking into why the TCA and MDMA were not checked. It says it's a 10-panel test, which means 10 things are marked. Everything from a lab should be in a X with typed out. None of this would be handwritten. But I didn't catch that. Other people did. UA then comes on my panel and sends me something that I was like, whoa. But she also noticed that CLIA is not a manufacturer. CLIA is a clinical laboratory improvement amendment. This lot number is also not correct. She probably took that from an older test, if it even is. It says it's in range. Again, hand marked. But before we close this part out, let's take a look at the signatures. Now, again, Brittney wouldn't be the one to fill this out. It wouldn't be on Brittney to do this. It would be on the caseworker, whoever submitted it. Do you notice these two signatures are identical? Yeah, they are. It's all the same. Whoever filled this out signed both signatures. In my opinion, they didn't even try to hide it. They didn't even try to say that it was somebody else. They didn't have Craig sign it, nothing. They just hand wrote this. I thank you, sweet misery. They just hand wrote this as quick as they could. It is the exact same handwriting across the board. the way the sixes are, the eyes. It even has the same level of pressure when you write. Yeah, that's another thing. There's no proof of photo ID, employer representative. Most identification would be from a driver's license or a photo ID. But there would definitely be a DER number, which is the testing. I mean, which is the like a doctor has a DER number. And the fact that they wrote Scotland County Social Services, it's Scotland Healthcare System. Okay. We'll give her that. All right. We'll just say, okay. Now again, look at the form. And then UA shows me this that she found online with a quick Google search. Hold on. Sorry, I had to close out my whole computer and reopen it. That's why I'm a little lost. All right. Look familiar? Does this look familiar? But not only did UA find this, look at that. It's the exact form. The absolute exact form that Brittney used. It lists everything the same. All Brittney did was change this and probably change this or some of this. But this listing is the exact form that Brittney used. Now, you might say, hey, well, maybe Scotland uses the same form, right? Perfectly logical to think that. Perfectly logical to say to yourself, all right, I'm not going to say that they don't use the same form. So we covered that one too. Okay. Bear with me a second. North. Uh, okay. Also understand there's a difference between drug testing centers and labs. There's a million drug testing centers, but it all goes to one lab for official reports. Okay. Uh, uh, why? Hold on. The I'm getting a different answer than I did last night, so bear with me. Let me go back to, where was it? Uh, all right, I can't find what I was looking at last night because now I'm getting different answers. So I don't remember exactly what I looked up last night. It's where Keystone was listed as the contract. I keep getting a different result for CPS testing in North Carolina. Does Scotland? Oh, yeah. I didn't say Google was a fact checker. But I'll tell you what I do know, Kelsey, without a shadow of a doubt, Scotland doesn't do drug tests. So even if I'm getting a different answer than I got last night, the bottom line is Scotland healthcare system does not administer any kind of drug test. They're not a laboratory. They don't do the laboratory. They don't administer drug tests, especially ones that are an exact replica of what you see online. So I'm going to do the smart thing and I'm going to go to my live from last night. Do, do. Well, Wrong live. All right. Since I really don't know what I looked up last night, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up from here. All right. What I found last night, it's kind of hard to see, but what I had found last night in North Carolina, Department of Social Services, which covers CPS, uses a certified and licensed laboratory for drug testing across all county agencies. This is done through a statewide contract, meaning a specific single lab is ordered for all official DSS drug tests. The contractual lab is Keystone Laboratories. A document from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services informs that Keystone Laboratories holds the statewide contract for providing drug testing for all DSS agencies. Okay. Now, again, even if you want to say Google is wrong, I will say it again. Scotland healthcare system does not have forms like that, and they do not do drug testing. So if you want to argue with me that Google's wrong, if you want to argue with me that you don't agree with me, that's fine too. That's perfectly fine. However, that test that she showed, let me go back to it. Oh. The test that she shows says it's from Scotland healthcare system, and that is a lie. Oh, you found it? That is a lie. None of this is true. None of this is filled out. And this is the exact same signature. So again, you can say that they use different labs and you have this and you have that. Here's what can't be refuted. That these are different signatures. Here's what can't be refuted. None of this would be handwritten. Here's what can't be refuted. This is the exact same as the fake one that we found online. And also, what was she writing over? Screening, drug testing, custody, and something? What was under there, Brittney? Because it looks to me like you probably have a test right under it. Like the real one. So what was under it? Oh, forensic. That's what it was. Forensic drug testing, custody, and something else. Could we see that paper, Brittney? Because that's the one we're interested in. Not this fake one that you threw together. We want the real one. So please, let's see that one. But I bet you didn't catch that either, Kelsey, did you? So anyway, again, even if Karen, do you know where the exit is? Even if you don't believe me about everything else, even if you think that I'm wrong about everything else, explain to me why all of this is handwritten. This would be typed out. This would not be handwritten. And more importantly, these two signatures would be completely different. But everything about these signatures are identical. So a carbon copy, photocopy, that would, I'll tell you what that would attribute to. That would attribute to this little whiteout over here. I can totally say that, hey, maybe that happened on the copy. Maybe, you know, that's not really whiteout and it just happened when someone made the copy. Okay, I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. Now, I'll tell you something else that I just thought of. Oh, wait, no, that's probably right. MDMA is always tested, is what I read. Now I'm going to show you guys how this is done, Brittany. Hi, hon, I'm on a live. Can I call you back? What? No, it's not. Drama. I love you. Bye. See, Brittany, that's how it's done when your kid calls. You just tell them you're on a live. Okay. See you later. That's it. All right, Karen, just for you, I will change it. It's not allowing me to change it. It won't allow me to change it. Nope. I think you're just stuck with it. Yeah, I can't change it. I apologize. I even tried. Nope, I can't change it. I'm trying. Nope. I even deleted it. It still won't work. So I apologize. But it can't be deleted. I'm trying. I can't delete it. I'm not joking. It's not allowing me to delete it. I've even deleted it on the system. And I can't do it. And I'm being dead serious. It's not allowing it. Because I don't have a subscription. So it's stuck on the last one that I had. Hopefully next time it'll be gone. But I apologize. There's nothing I can do. There you go. Better? That I can do. Yeah. All right. So now I forgot where I was. But even, like I'm saying, even if you don't believe the lab, you don't believe the testing, you don't believe anything, even if that's true, Kelsey, none of that matters. I know, Holly. None of that matters. The bottom of it, white copy, does not matter. Let me show you again. Whoop. Any way you slice it, okay? These two handwritings are the same. Any way you look at it, these two handwriting signatures are the exact same. There is no way around this. You can't get around this. There's no manufacturer named Clea. None. That is not a manufacturer. I don't think CPS would lie and say that a manufacturer that doesn't exist. I know that it's really hard for people to understand. Brittney is a liar. This is scamming you. And I heard somebody say earlier, oh, that's not scamming. I don't know if they're really being scamming. This is scamming. Scamming doesn't have to mean it's all about money. She's playing on people's emotions. She's fucking with people's emotions. She has people lying for her, knowing that she's full of shit. She has people going to bat for her when it's all a lie, and she knows it. This is a problem. This is a big problem. Tracy, I care. And I'm sorry you don't. I guess you don't care about being scammed, but I know a lot of subscribers do. Ah, happy birthday. You're only 21, Holly. You're such a baby. Yeah, Brittney gave Moon permission to put it out. And let's go one step further. Hold on. Whoop. Let's go one step further. Okay. Quick Google search. Is Clea a manufacturer? No, Clea is not a manufacturer. It's a clinical laboratory improvement amendment, is not a manufacturer. It is a set of federal regulations and a governing body under the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. That sets quality standards for clinical laboratory testing to ensure accurate and reliable patient test results. Clea regulates laboratories, not the companies that make the test. Although the FDA is involved in categorizing the complexity of tests manufactured by companies. So are you going to tell me that Clea, I'm sorry, that DHS and the report didn't know that Clea wasn't a manufacturer, but yet they put it on the thing anyway? Amazing. These people are all forging government documents. Wow. That's a lawsuit right there, that they're forging government documents. Can you imagine forging a government document? But let's go one step further. Okay, let me lay it out a little easier. Brittney does not owe anybody a drug test, okay? I'm with you on that. She doesn't need to show anybody a drug test. I'm with you. Got it. Here's the problem. She chose to put it out. She chose to put it out there. She is the one who states that she had this test done at Scotland Healthcare Center. And it's handwritten. For those of you that want to believe her bullshit, you go right ahead. You go right ahead and believe her bullshit. I'm looking at the facts. So I'm not going to argue with people that want to believe her nonsense. I'm not going to argue with people who think that a test that is exactly, and I mean exactly, what you find online happens to be the exact same test that Brittney had. If you want to believe that, you go right ahead. Make sure you give her all your money. And at the end of the day, I got a bridge to sell you. I really do. I'm going to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm going to sell you Alcatraz. And I may even throw in a date with John Travolta. Okay? So you can believe whatever you want, and I'm going to go back to my facts. All right, let me go back to the test so I can write this. D24J. All right, I was hoping it was going to find something, but it doesn't. I was looking up the number. But it didn't come back as anything. So that goes back to my original thing from yesterday. I 100% believe that she copied it from one of her other drug tests, and that's where she got it from. That's just my opinion. That's where I think she got the lot number from. That's where I think she got the information from, the expiration date. I believe she took an old drug test and put it there. But more importantly, what I really want to know is this. I really want to know forensic drug testing, custody, and something. I want to know what that paper says and why she had to make a fake paper if she had the real paper right under it. That's the big thing I want to know. Because I don't think the one under it is fake. But it does say forensic drug testing, custody, and I don't know the other word. This doesn't have a date because she left that blank. She left the address blank, the DER number, the phone. And that's all I got. East Coast, you must have missed the live yesterday. Let me go through it again. They do not do drug testing for CPS. They are a hospital. There's no such thing as instant drug screen result form. A DER number is a CPS number. Let me. Okay. This is very, very important for you to know. A DER number is a case number. Her case number would be on the form. Just saying. They wouldn't do a test with the CPS's worker's name in the exact same handwriting as Brittney? With the exact same signature as Brittney? All handwritten? Federal drug testing and forensic custody form is to ensure no tampering. Correct. I will agree with that. For those of you that came in late and those of you that I love and respect, I will back this up a second. I will say this again. Caseworkers don't have a choice if they want to hand fill it out or whatever. That's not the way it works. This is a government entity. This is not a choice. Hey, I'm leaving, I'm leaving for vacation. So let me just fill it out by hand from the lab. That doesn't happen. They cannot do that. That is illegal. This is a government entity. Government entities have rules to follow, especially when it comes to children. But to add to that, all of this handwriting is the exact same. Whoever filled this out, filled it out the same. Look at the S's. The S's are identical. Are you going to tell me that they just so happen the people at the lab and Brittney all have the exact same handwriting? The CPS worker, the donor name, all have the same handwriting? Okay. You keep believing that. A DER number in CPS. A DER number in CPS is a case or tracking number assigned when a child abuse or neglect report is processed under this specific approach. Try again, Lindsay. And now I'm not looking at chat because you want to come at me, you're going to pay me. I refuse to answer Brittney's people unless you're fucking paying me. There's that. So you want to argue with me? Go do your own live and you can argue with me there. Or you can pay me and I will respond. If you want to be a moron, that's on you. Now I'm going to continue with my live. Let me go back to... Whoop. Okay, now look at this again. They did not check anything. They did not fill in her case number or tracking number. They didn't even write their address or their phone number. Again, this is a government entity. You don't have the choice to fill it out if you feel like it. You don't have the choice to decide, am I going to handwrite this or am I going to type this out? Think about that. A government entity. Every single I has to be dotted and every single T needs to be crossed. Again, government entity. And they don't even have to write their address. Now go a little further. They don't even have to write their phone number. That's how good they are. For those of you that want to say it's a carbon copy, let's examine that for a second. What is a carbon copy? A carbon copy means that it's an exact replica of what's on top. A carbon copy doesn't mean that one page is typed and one page is handwritten. So again, a carbon copy means it's a copy of the original. A copy of the original would be the same as what we're looking at. Doesn't matter how many copies it is. Okay, moving forward. Noreen, did you not hear what I said? You're going to have to pay me if you want me to respond to you. Thank you. I've given you more than enough of my time and answers. So again, do your own research, do your own live, go to Queen Bee, go somewhere else. But you will have to pay me for me to respond. Thank you. Doohickey, time for you to go. Okay. Now, going back to what I was saying, this is not a standard CPS paperwork that, you know, they write, they're filling stuff out, stuff like that. That's not the problem. Yes, CPS has every right to, you know, handwrite stuff. They can handwrite notes, whatever their reason for handwriting stuff. Now, this is an official drug test. An official drug test that involves children. This is not going to be handwritten and sloppy. This is not going to be proved DER CPS related. Seriously, Noreen? I thought I just showed you guys, but I'll pull it up again. No problem. Hold on. And thank you for the $4.99. Yeah, I just showed you guys, but I'll show you again. It's all right. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Okay. What is a DER number in relation to CPS? Oh, hold on. DER. DER. What is a CPS? DER number. Why do I keep, what am I doing wrong? I keep getting fucking different answers.
So some of my friends,
Well, that's interesting.
call me DJT, bro. That's what Trump calls me.
Because according to the second thing I just looked up, hey, because according to the second thing I just looked up, it says that there is no DER number on a drug test. So that's interesting.
I heard a lot of talk the other day. I don't remember where I was about all the 9/11 stuff. It was Aiden's dad. He was like,
Because again, it said DER number on a drug test is for is a case number. That's what I'm looking up again. Actually, you're wrong because I just had it.
He helped build the World Trade Centers. He knows how they were built. He knows how they were reinforced.
And unfortunately, dummy me closed it out. Is a drug test. Here's another one. There is no such thing as a DER number on a drug test. Well, that's funny because Brittney's has one. DER yeah, this is what I found earlier though. DER stands for Designated Employer Representative. Which Brittney didn't take 2 seconds to look up and see it, but I will find what I saw before.
Mom, these dishes are clean, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm not finding what I saw before, but I'm telling you, I found it before. I thought I showed you guys. But I definitely had it before. It said it was a case number. But either way, it still is not on there. And Clea is not a manufacturer. I don't know. I had it before. Noreen, I'm not spending an hour looking for it. It's really not that important because the bottom line is it's blank and it wouldn't be blank. So there's that. That's all you need to know. So it really doesn't fucking matter. You just want to fight with me to fight. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's blank. It would not be blank. So either way, it's bullshit. The DER would not be blank from the person who did the test. She filled it out quick. And again, like I'm saying, that part doesn't even matter because it's blank. So it doesn't matter what it means. It doesn't matter if it's authority, doesn't matter if it's CPS related, doesn't matter if it's a person, if it's a number, none of that matters. It's blank. It wouldn't be blank if this was legit. That's the point. So if Google told me something that was wrong, that's fine. No problem. If I read something wrong, I'll own it. No problem. Got no problem with that. But that's blank. So it doesn't matter what the fuck it stands for. It doesn't matter who's right. That would not be blank on a form. This form would also not be handwritten. This form would also not have the exact same fucking handwriting for both signatures. This form would also not have CLIA as a manufacturer when CLIA is not a manufacturer. CPS is a government entity. CLIA tied to lab ordered issue. Wait, what? All right, look. I'm going to say this again. Scotland Drug Services doesn't hold the contract for North Carolina. North Carolina DSS services are strictly under contract to use Keystone Laboratories. I showed that, and that is a fact. Scotland Healthcare System does not have the exact same form as we found online. Okay? Thank you, Jay Fox. The DER is the employee's official representative who's authorized to make decisions during the drug testing process and receive confidential test results. That is what the DER number is. But in Brittney's, it's blank. Why? Because Brittney didn't take the time to actually look at what a DER number is. Noreen, no offense, but I'm not your bitch. $10 isn't going to order me around to do this and this. That's not going to happen. Sorry. And again, I go back to I would like to know what's behind this. What forensic drug testing in custody and something is underneath? So why don't all you Brittney ass kissers, why don't you go ask her what's the custody underneath? What's the testing underneath? the forensic drug testing custody and something? Because I would love to know what that is. And I'm going to go one step back. Let's go 4 steps back. All right. 4 steps back. Even if Google is 100% wrong, even if Google is completely wrong with all the information they've give, all right? Even if that's true. Whoops. Even if that's true, I will 100% give you that. All right? I will give you that Google is wrong. Everything Google says is wrong. The fact that this letter is the exact same letter that you can find online, it's all handwritten. I'll give you all of that. All right? I will. I'll give you all of that. Can you explain to me then why the official representative is blank? Can you also tell me why there's no address and phone number, which would be standard? Can you also tell me why a donor identification verification is not checked off? Can you also show me how the signatures are almost identical? Just curious. I'm just curious. And now tell me how the manufacturer name is clear when there's no manufacturer name clear. But most importantly, tell me what's behind this piece of paper. And I see she took it on a keyboard. It could be placement. You might be right. I don't know. That's true too, Amy. That's what I'm saying. Guys, I'm going to fucking say this again, and this is going to be the last time I'm going to say it. If you want to be dumb enough to think that CPS and a lab is going to handwrite stuff, you don't belong here because you're a bigger fucking moron than I could ever imagine. A lab, an official drug testing lab for a government entity, is not going to fucking handwrite a lab result. I can't even for the life of me comprehend how you would think they would. That is illegal. You can't handwrite official documents. We are not in 1985. We are in 2000 and almost 26. Everything is done by computer. Even doctors have to do prescriptions by computer. They have to send it now to the lab, to the pharmacy. Everything is e-scripted. Or at least most things are e-scripted. No CPS agency is handwriting and leaving out detailed information. If you believe that, you deserve for Brittney to fucking scam you. Plain and simple. Bliss, that's what I'm trying to say. This doesn't take away the fact that it is a drug test. CPS, anything that happens in CPS is a official government entity. Anything, it doesn't matter. It's CPS. It doesn't matter if you had a local test done. It doesn't matter if you had a test done in somewhere else. Doesn't matter. CPS is an official government entity. It would not be done in handwritten where someone could change it, where someone could literally change the rules. They could erase it. They could carbon copy it. They could do things with it. If you believe that, then you deserve to get scammed by Brittney. Plain and simple. And you deserve to watch a girl who's on drugs not out and say, oh, she's just tired. She's just tired. That's true too. I'm minding my own. I go to the doctor monthly and have to get blood work. Often, only paper I ever get is blood test paperwork for what she wants done. I even get my test results online. No, East Coast, I'm not getting upset, but I cannot believe how absolutely blind people are and how some of them just want to argue. And that's what I'm seeing. Don't come in here to fucking argue just to argue, just because you think you want to argue. The proof is there. And if you think that in the end, why don't you know what? I'll go one step further. I'll call the place tomorrow. I will fucking call them and prove to you that they don't handwrite shit. CPS doesn't handwrite stuff. And I would also guarantee you that if somebody turns this in, Yarn, trust me, I'm not. If someone turns this in, she's going to get arrested. I will fucking guarantee you that this caseworker did not sign this. I'll put my fucking channel on the line that this paper is faked. If I'm wrong, I'll shut down my channel. That is how fucking sure I am that this is fake. So I won't have a channel anymore if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, I want some fucking apologies. And I've never put my channel on the line like that before. But that's how sure I am that I am right, that this is fake. Someone should send this to a CPS caseworker. I'm not going to because she's not suing me, but I hope someone does. I hope someone sends this and asks them, is this you? Is this a legit report? And I do. I hope someone does. And then people like Noreen and others can shut the fuck up. Thank you, Spiked. Because I will guarantee this is not legit. And I will guarantee that these two, I wouldn't do that, Susie. That's what I said. I wouldn't do it. But I hope someone else does. But if people want to keep coming at me, I will. I don't have a problem with it. At this point, there's no reason for me to do it. Just to prove to a bunch of people something that I already know I'm right about. That's why I wouldn't do it. But I do hope that someone else does. I do hope that someone that she sent papers to does do it. Why wouldn't they? Guys, I'm going to say it again. I know I'm right. You don't have to believe me, and that's okay. You just don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me that Britt's on drugs. You don't have to believe me that this is fake. You don't have to believe me that these are the same fucking signatures. That's your prerogative. You don't have to believe me. But I would also like an apology when it turns out that I'm right. Okay? And also, here's another thing. Brittney would not have to wait for her caseworker to send her drug results. Not only would she have a portal with CPS, because most likely she would have a portal with CPS, but if it really did go through the health system or whatever, if it really did go through that, she would have a portal. But she would be able to call up and ask any caseworker for those results. Now, where do I think those results are? I'll show you right here. That's the real results. The forensic drug test in custody, those are the real results. And she made a fake copy to put over it. And I also noticed something else. She didn't even talk about this yesterday. She just went right over it. Yeah, I don't know if CPS has a portal though, but if it went through this Scotland health system, which it didn't, but let's just say it did with this half backwards information and missing stuff, let's just say it did. All right. And let's just say that everything we heard is wrong with their instant drug results. All right. Let's just say it did. What's this underneath? Can someone point out to me what's underneath?
Mama.
What?
Did you get me a haircut appointment?
Yeah. I didn't say they didn't do drug testing. They don't do drug testing for CPS. Big difference. Lots of people can do drug testing, but CPS. Did you get the link? Okay.
Hey. Okay, let's just address the simple things, okay, that I think everyone should be able to agree on. When Moon was, first of all, everyone's been hounding Brittney about where are the test results. She allegedly has the test results, so much so that she sent them to Moon to put out. One, why is she sending the results to Moon to put out and not putting them out on her own channel? Right? Question number one to ask ourselves. Question number two, why when Moon was holding the results, like to show everybody holding her phone, why was she intentionally blocking out the very top half of the form? She intentionally did not want anyone to see that. Ask yourself that question. Why is that? It's because, then ask yourself, does the person getting tested, are they the ones that fill out the drug screening forms? Or is it the person doing the testing and the person that fills out or that is taking the test, are they only filling out the donor's name where it says print, like printed name, and signing it? Okay. Then ask yourself, is this all the same handwriting?
Sure is.
Okay. Then ask yourself too. Right. This is clearly all the same handwriting. I cannot help you. Like, okay, if y'all want to, people are like, oh, it doesn't look the same. Look at the signatures. Okay. So we have the T for Brittney. Okay. And then whatever this is, it's the same below after the HA. That's the same characteristic. It has the same slant and everything. This is also clearly feminine handwriting.
Look at the eye. The eye is identical. Right here's an eye, and right here's an eye. That is identical. That's not even up for debate. That is, oh, you can't see it on my thing. Hang on.
Also, I'll keep going while you're getting it. Remember in Moon's live, she referred to positive being an example. Nothing was marked as positive. On this test, there isn't positive, isn't even an option. It's negative, confirm, not tested. Okay? So confirm would mean a presumptive positive. If confirm,
Look at this.
then
Hold on. Look at this eye right here and this eye right here. That is identical. That's not even, you can't even fucking argue this. That is the exact same handwriting.
if they want to say that this is a carbon copy, okay, let's go down that road. They have the exact, still have the exact same handwriting. I'll go down the road of carbon copy. Let's do that, okay? Let's go down that road. It's still the same. One thing, they still apply the same amount of pressure, right?
Yep.
Do you see that? It's still the same handwriting. Still the same person signing it. So even if that's correct, even if this is a carbon copy of some sorts, it's all, you cannot deny that part. The other question is, on official government documents like drug tests, we have things that are not filled out that would be filled out.
On the top?
Exactly on the top. There's no phone number listed. There's no address. I'm sorry if you're going to go into detail to put what state it's in and the city, you're going to probably fill in the address too, or the phone number at least. Obviously, if you're trying to say, well, it's the CPS worker doing the in-house testing as well, so they, of course, they know they're in North Carolina. Well, also they know they're in Laurinburg as well. So if you're going to fill something out, having everything filled out is very paramount. The other thing, donor identification verified by, that is going to be marked, and it was not marked in any way. Okay?
Yeah, there's no date either.
Right. As we keep going, we can keep going down. The other thing that was pointed out by on other people's channels is, notice that for panel and specimen temperature, it is an X is put through it. Right? To select that option.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
However, on
I
the
didn't even
drug,
catch.
I was listening to Kathy P. She pointed that out.
All right.
They're like, it's an X is pulled out, like she marks it with an X on the panel to select the panel number and whether it's in range. However, on the initial screen results, those are all not with an X. Typically, if you're marking a like filling out a form, you fill it out the same way when you're selecting when it's an option selecting instance.
That's a good catch. I didn't even see that. So I'm going to reiterate what she's saying. If you're using an X, then you're going to use an X throughout. If you're using X and then all of a sudden just hit a line, that's the point for those in the back.
Right. And then the other thing is, Moon said on her live, she mentioned the word, first of all, she mentioned the word positive, right? She never said anything about word confirm. The reason why and confirm is important is, see where it says all confirm? It's in the a little bit header. It says all confirm, and it talks about where the results should go. And that is when something needs to be sent to a lab to confirm it's testing positive. So all confirm or non-negative results must be confirmed, right? So there was
Now
not
the
even
reason
an
why that's
option.
important, but the
There
reason
wasn't
why
even an
that's
option.
important is Moon fought with me over that yesterday on my panel. I said, so it's positive then. And from what this says, that if it's not negative, then you must confirm, you must hit positive, and then it's, or confirmed, and then it goes to a different testing date. She fought with me over this and said that it was blank. However, if you look up all the negatives, that equals 10. But according to Brittney, all right, let me see. Let me make sure I say this right. According to Brittney, it had to go to the lab and she's waiting for lab results. However, this shows that it's only a 10 panel test. And it's showing that it's a 10 panel test, meaning if you count these up, that equals 10. They're not going to send it for the other 2 or 3 or whatever it is. They're not going to just send it over. If you only have a 10 panel test, you only have a 10 panel test. And
They're
if
all negative
everything
too,
came
so
up
that
negative in that 10,
it's not going to go to a lab to be
if it all came up
confirmed.
negative, then exactly. Correct. According to what Brittney said. And according to, now, if it was a 14 panel test and only 10 were negative, it wouldn't have jumped up as much. However, it says it's only 10. That means they only tested 10. So it wouldn't need to go to a lab. It's not really difficult.
It's going to be also CLIA is like it was said before, CLIA is not a manufacturer. So they're the ones that approve those tests. So for someone that's experienced in filling out forms for CPS, they're not going to list CLIA as the manufacturer. And Brittney Jackson is a common name. Brittney's a common name. Jackson's a common surname. All of that information is going to be filled out to make sure that you're not getting people confused within the system itself.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's not like her name's Shalia, nincompoop, whatever. Just some random name that doesn't exist and it's just so uncommon. This is always going to be filled out completely and verified.
Now, I also want to point something out. For those of you that are saying, why does it matter why you invested? You don't have a problem with a fucking scammer around here? You don't have a problem that your friends are being scammed? You don't have a problem that someone is scamming subscribers for not only money but sympathy and religion and everything? If you don't have a problem with that, you don't belong here.
The other thing is, we have heard Brittney challenge numerous people to hair follicle test, drug test, all the things, right? Since she was first accused of, people were first pointing out that she was nodding off, that she was going to a maintenance medication clinic when she took us on that lovely drive. Remember when she took us on that drive to the clinic and had the morning rant? Does anybody remember that live? And we were literally going down the
Yep.
middle of the road. Okay. What was she the most upset about? Does anyone remember? Cuz I do. She
No.
was the most upset that it was looked up what doctor she was attending, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So where, like, her final destination, that people looked up where she went. Okay, that was a pain management clinic. Okay, and her excuse for why she went there was for knee injections, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that gets knee injections would know, one, you don't go and get knee injections as often as Brittney is quote unquote claiming that she gets knee injections. Also, Brittney has this surplus of drug tests laying around her house that she herself brought up. You don't have a bunch of drug test results laying around your house if you're not, like, because whenever you go to get, let's say, steroid injections in your knees, if all you're getting is steroid injections, I'm sorry, but you're not getting drug tested for those. Plus, you don't get you cannot get steroid injections as frequently as Brittney takes her trips to this facility.
Let me just say something. Narcos, why do you think I'm so hated? Because I have called out many scammers. There was one's Blonde Bay back in the day. I've called out a few of them. I've called out QB for her scamming.
Hell,
The difference
Narcos.
is, the difference is QB is in an active lawsuit. And do I think that she's making way more? Yeah, but she's not like, all right, this is going to sound wrong, but she's not asking for it. She's not sitting there with a sympathy, give me money, give me money, give me money. She just happens to get it. It's a totally different kind of scam per se. Like, do I think that she spent $200,000 in legal fund? No, but I don't think anybody does. However, she's not sitting on her live crying, poor me, and lying to people to get super chats. There's a big difference.
Narcos. Okay. So it seems like you're seeming to think that I'm an ex-nurse. Well, you have probably my docs. Why don't you go to the board of nursing and look it the fuck up for yourself? Also, if the shit that was said about me was true, don't you think I'd have like a charge of some kind about taking whatever like, I've heard different things being said. I've heard that I solicited drugs from Vibrator, which I don't. I posted the fucking receipts on my ex for that. But if I was taking, let's say, drugs from a patient, that would be fucking have to be reported to the board of nursing. And there would be something on my license for that. It's not. So sit all the way the fuck down, Narcos. Have several seats, as a matter of fact. And if you want to be what I claim to be, then I should be a fucking expert at it then, right? If I'm some drug addict. Right, Narcos. All you
But
can do is
Narcos,
fucking Google
honestly, I
after him,
have
man.
called out people. And that's
Well, it's
honestly, I have called out a lot of scammers. And I haven't been wrong yet.
It's just funny
But
that.
anyone that wants,
Go ahead, sorry, Laura.
and let me also say, I don't like Queen Bee. I don't want anyone to be mistaken like I'm all of a sudden liking Queen. I can't stand the fucking bitch. And that's true. But I'm not going to sit here and lie about her either. And I'm not going to sit here and say she sits and begs for super chats because she doesn't. She never has. So her lawsuit is something totally different, but she's not forcing people to pay it either. If people want to give her money, so be it. I'm not one to say anything, but she's not sitting there begging for super chats and lying about it. But that doesn't mean I like her. It doesn't mean I want to sit with her. It doesn't mean I want to be a friend, because I absolutely fucking don't. I think she's white trash. However, that doesn't take away from Brittney. Just because, I mean, two things can be true. Narco,
Brittney J.
she's scamming. What the fuck do you not get? The
She's
girl
also
is lying to you guys.
she's also voluntarily
She's
asking
fucking
people.
scamming you.
She's also voluntarily, like, the lawsuits, for example, that Queen and Granny are raising funds for are ones where they're the fucking defendants. They didn't ask to be sued, okay? She is literally asking her subs to fund her fucking lawsuit against people for and try to take their channels down or whatever the fuck it's for, right? She's asking them to fund that for her. Okay? There's a huge difference in that. And she can't even be honest as to what she's even raising the money for.
That's true.
Okay?
Because I'll be honest, I do not believe that she had any intention to take channels down or anything else. I think she just gave the $200 or $300 to the attorney to do and that's it.
Let me
That's
ask you
all she's
this.
doing. It's
Let me
not going any further. What?
let me raise you this, okay? Narcos and all of
It,
you Brittney people defending her. Can you explain to me, how would you feel, or if you donated, even better, how did you feel knowing, or how do you feel knowing Brittney has an active give, send, go, and yet we have Craig who is bragging about his new ring, his new watch that's like $600, the rings however much money. How do you feel knowing that she has this active give, send, go where she's asking people to fund litigation that she is willingly entering into while simultaneously buying and spending money on frivolous things like Craig to get a new watch and a new ring? Can you explain that for me? I'll wait.
I agree.
Because
Brand
I
new
don't give a
phones this week, brand new computer.
Okay, she got them on payment. Do you know that she has to pay those back at probably, I think Best Buy's interest is like 24% interest a month. So she's going to pay a whole hell of a lot more than the initial cost, Amy. Do you know how credit works? Because Brittney apparently doesn't. She thinks it just, you know, clearly doesn't have an idea of how credit works. Because you do have to make payments on them.
And like I said, Janessa brings up a good point. And like I said, I don't agree with Dogpilot. There's a lot of shit that the haters go after her for that I don't even understand. Like, who gives a fuck? I don't care. Craig's a loser. I don't care about some of the dumbest shit that these people go after her for. Not something I would ever fuck with her. But scamming people and people don't care, or maybe they don't see it, that's a problem. That's a community problem. That's not a personal problem. That's not a that's not a Brittney problem. That becomes a community problem. And
Okay,
that's what
Amy.
people aren't grasping.
Amy Lynn, let me help you because I know I see you in Brittany's chat all the time. Okay. What makes you think she's not making the payment? You are missing the entire fucking point. She is having to, she literally went out and spent money that she's going to have to, let's say she got it on credit and it was free, just like the lawsuit. Okay. She's eventually going to have to fucking pay that money back with interest. That money could have been used to put towards that lawsuit that she's voluntarily entering into herself, correct? Do you miss that? Like, or do I need to break it down further for you? Amy, why does it matter? Because Brittney wants to call everybody else out on their parenting, like Katie and Chris. She wants to call Queen Bee out. She wants to call Granny out. So you know, if she's going to sit at that table of calling people the fuck out and judging people on their parenting, then she needs to fucking be, well, you know, open to criticisms herself. Bless your heart, Amy. I don't know how to help you then. If you know that
Like
she's
I
going to have to
said,
pay it back.
it is a anytime there's a true scammer, it's a community problem. It's not a Brittney problem. It's a community problem because there are people throughout the community that are getting scammed.
If this was Granny, if this was Queen B, if this was fucking Jay, if this was not nonsense, I don't care who the fuck would, if anybody was doing this shit, regardless of who it was from, I would be fucking calling it out.
I agree with that.
Oh,
This
Lana, you don't know shit.
faking a drug test like she did, fabricating this is huge, huge. And I'm sorry that some of you supporters don't see it or don't realize how huge it actually is.
Or are
And
willing
that
to
is
be
what's mind-blowing.
manipulated. I'm just wondering why you're so willing to blindly follow somebody you don't even know. Have you ever met Brittney? Just out of curiosity. Why are you? I don't even know why you're willing to pay, what, $2 to be a member of her channel when she consistently disrespects her subs by showing up late, rescheduling shit all the time, not even showing up at all. And then her mods have to come in there and make excuses for her all the time. When is the last time? Ask yourself this. When is the last time Brittney held a live where she started on time? When is the last time that Brittney started a live where it wasn't full of excuses as to why, you know, she's having to mute, or how many times she's literally said, I'm sorry, I was talking and I didn't even realize I was muted. I would suggest that those are probably not her forgetting to unmute her microphone, but maybe because she's fucking asleep or nodded off.
Yeah, that's another question I have for her supporters. The few things that I do care about. You don't care that she nods off every night? She just gave you this whole song and dance about how she was going to change and she was a different person, and she's back to doing the exact same thing that she was prior. You have no problem with that, Amy? I'm just curious. You don't have a problem somebody paying no attention to you and just saying, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, but make sure you hit the thumbs up. You have no problem with that? You just keep backing that? That's part of scamming. Scamming doesn't have to mean money. No, not really, Amy. It really doesn't. Not for a YouTuber. It takes time to change for a child. It takes time to change, but telling your subs you're not going to fall asleep, no, you could do that overnight.
She
But,
was
you
back to
know,
doing it the
with
same
all due
day.
respect, Amy, with all due respect, Amy, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm trying to word this correctly. And whether it's you or anybody else, I truly feel sorry for you guys that not that want to believe in her, but that have so much faith in her that for a creator on YouTube that you pay money to, whether it be premium, whether it be, you know,
That she
super
still
chats,
hasn't
whatever,
gotten.
memberships, doesn't matter. But a creator that you use your hard-earned money to pay, that you want to give them all this time to change when the only thing people are telling him to do is just do their job and be a creator, it's the most whacked out mentality that I've ever seen. And that goes for Amy Lynn or anybody else. Like, you come on YouTube for entertainment. You come on YouTube, you go to certain creators because you like them, whatever, that's fine. But from another creator standpoint, you shouldn't have to wait for a creator to do their fucking job. You
This
shouldn't
is
have
her
to
job.
wait for change. That's fucking weird to me. We
This
know
is
what we have to do as a creator. We know
what
that we have to entertain people. We know that we're here to entertain people, no matter what that entertainment may be. The fact
Laura.
that, well,
I want to ask you something as as a creator yourself. How, if
okay.
this was Brittney has said, this is her job. This is what pays her, puts food on the table, pays her light bill. Can you name a job, or chat suggested, can you name any other job where what Brittney does would be okay? Like in terms of
No, but
not
hang on one
showing up
second.
on
It's
time.
lightning out.
Okay.
Hang on. I
In
got to
terms
let
of,
the dogs in. It's lightning out.
okay. I'll just ask them. I'm curious what job would allow you to be an hour late, sleep through your own lives, that you're in charge of scheduling. I've never seen someone that's literally has control of everything regarding their schedule, yet she still cannot even show up to things that she schedules for herself. Sadie, what you don't know is that Brittney, the RICO was a huge thing with Brittney. I had a problem with Brittney when I reached out to her when she held her live with Tony, and where Tony came up. They were calling Tony out for him being, you know, the type of person that he was. Cher was on panel, Jules was on panel, and several other people were on panel that night. Tony went up. It was a Sunday night. I remember it vividly. Sunday went up. Tony went up on a Sunday. He was watching fucking NFL football, sat there in a recliner, and for 4 hours he gaslit her and gave her lie after lie after lie. Brittney went live the next day and said, Tony lied to me this entire time. All right. I even sent Brittney an email reaching out to her, offering to give her more information that would show her what a shitbag Tony was. No, you're not blocked in her eyes. And do you know what?
Not yet.
She stopped communicating with me because she didn't want to see anything bad about Tony, because she was getting paid to push, in my opinion, paid to push this narrative.
And that's Just Irish brings up a really good point. Some of us, not all of us, but what some of us see is all of this is because she's in active addiction. And
Correct.
every sign, every day, it's a new story. But the fake drug test, all of it is active addiction. And I think that is the core of all of this.
She also blocks members. Her people will pay to donate memberships, and she blocks the people that those memberships go to. She cannot stand someone to who disagrees with her on anything, or you know, even if you go in there and her subs say that I've watched her subs talk about their concerns for her, and it gets deleted. Even if you go to her one-on-one behind the scenes and express to her something, she literally will flip it the fuck around on you and gaslight you to death.
Yeah, she does that. And that's why I'm starting to think that it's not all Craig. Sorry, but I think it's her. And I'm not saying Craig's not a piece of shit, but I do think that a lot of it has to do with her and not just Craig. Everybody wants to blame Craig. I think a lot of it's her. You can't be millionaires if they don't have money. You can't pull blood from a stone. Like her issues with Craig, that's on her. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even bother with that. But
But
by the
this-
way, I've also blocked haters that end up getting memberships.
Well, I'm just saying it's a
Wispy once got a membership. I blocked her immediately.
But I mean, it's the same. The thing is, she doesn't allow any. There's no wiggle room for anyone to disagree with her or the narrative that she's trying to push, whether that be publicly or privately. There's another
That
thing.
is true.
If this was a legitimate drug test and drug results, she would have put this out on her channel. Going back to what we came here for. If this was legitimate, she would be the first one waving it around. She wouldn't have little old Moon over there waving it for her. Ask yourself why Moon was releasing it on her small ass channel.
Let's not forget all the lies too. We have the lie of the test didn't come back. Oh, we have the test. If this is showing, because she was going on and on in Moons yesterday about how wonderful she was. If this was legit, and if this really came from a testing center, then explain to me why she wouldn't show it. And according to her, it wouldn't have needed to go to a lab for further testing because according to this, they only tested 10 things and all 10 things were negative. So she wouldn't have been waiting for anything from a result, from a confirmation.
Also,
because
ask yourself
10 things tested and 10 things negative. The test is done.
Ask yourself too, if you've ever done a drug test, ask yourself why someone who tested negative first, because she said she was tested in her home and then she got a call and had an hour to show up to do a test at a facility, right? Does everybody remember that?
Yep.
As one of
She
the
doesn't
stories?
remember that. She doesn't remember that.
Okay. Why would they have her give her an hour to show up at a facility if she had not tested, if she had tested negative for everything preliminarily?
I agree.
I can tell you that the hour is because there are things that you can buy over the counter, which will, like drinks that you can drink, that will help you, or at least try to give you a better chance of passing a drug test by masking the drugs that would show up in your urine. Okay, and you have to consume that within a certain window of time, and that's why that hour and that time limit was on there.
Oh, you guys saw that. All right, I also want to show you guys something. Would CPS handwrite drug results? No. Child Protect Services does not handwrite drug test results for official case documentation. Test results must come from a certified accredited laboratory to be considered valid evidence in court. Here is why handwritten results are not used and how the official process works. Validity and accreditation. Official drug tests for CPS cases are performed by professional medical laboratories, which have strict, standardized procedures to ensure accuracy and prevent tampering. Chain of custody. The lab maintains a detailed chain of custody to track the specimen from collection to testing. This process documents everyone who handled the sample and is necessary to prove the sample's integrity in court. A handwritten result would bypass these critical safeguards. Now let's look at this. They don't even have a fucking date on it or a phone number. Brittney Jackson, like UA said, very common name. And yet, here we are. Doesn't have a birth date, doesn't have an ID check, nothing. But sure, let's go ahead and, it doesn't matter. CPS caseworker role to make any notes in a case file about a parent's drug using or about a positive test. But this is different from the official lab report. In court, the official lab result, not the caseworker's notes, must be submitted as evidence. Rapid testing versus lab testing. While a caseworker might use a rapid on-site test kit to get an initial indication of drug use, a positive result from this kind of test must be followed up with a confirmatory lab test before it can be used as evidence in a legal proceeding. Now, let's take a look at that for a second. She wouldn't have had to send it to a lab if everything came up negative. That's what this is saying. A rapid drug test, it would only go to a lab if it came back positive. She is a fraud.
And Eric is right. If anything like a controlled substance did show up, for example, let's say she has a prescription for Xanax, it's going to show up positive. Then that is where you send it off, a copy of your prescription. Usually will have to take a picture of the prescription, give the prescription number, as well as they want to know how it's written out. They will contact a medical review officer or someone independently from like the caseworker affiliated with the lab, will then contact the pharmacy and have them verify the prescription number, the fact that it's within date, for example, that it's not like something they had access to 2 years ago, and it's still in their system. All those things are true. They also can call you in to have pill counts, etc., to make sure you're not abusing medications that are prescribed that would also cause you to test dirty on a test.
Now, I can say when somebody called CPS on me and says I was abusing my drugs or whatever, all they did, they looked at the bottle and then they said, come by tomorrow they obviously weren't concerned, but come by tomorrow for a drug test. You have to come to the office, blah, blah, blah. I said, fine. I went to the office. They never asked me for a bottle again. They said, all right, we have to send this over to the lab because obviously, I come up for amphetamine. And they sent it to the lab and I never heard from them again. That was it. And they said, if, anything comes back other than this, we'll be in touch. I never heard from, I got the letter that it was done. So, but I don't know if they called the doctor. They just looked at my, my bottle. So.
I know that they've gotten stricter about looking at, like, confirming it with the pharmacy, especially with the opiate epidemic going on. And also, like, depending on what kind of your pain management doctor, some doctors require you to do urine tests every single time you go in for a refill, and some require it different. Some do it randomly, some do it annually, some require random testing counts, etc.
Yeah, I just I'm really saddened by how many people believe Brittney is legit, believe this drug test is legit. I am dumbfounded. I'm not gonna lie. I just can't imagine how their train of thought is that they actually think
Or that
like
it's not our
it's almost like
business.
second guessing yourself. Yeah, it's anytime there is a scammer, it is our business. This isn't now understand this isn't like Dolly who just scammed, and I wouldn't even call it scam. He grifts nonstop. That's Dolly's problem. That's not my business. If Dolly's people want to give him money to buy dinosaurs, that's on them. That's not scamming though. Saying that he's using money for whatever, it's still not really scamming, it's more grifting. But making up false documents and making that's when it becomes our business. It becomes a community issue when it goes past your standard grifting, if that makes sense. Grifting isn't scamming. Brittany telling everyone donate to me, that's not the scam. The scam is shit like this. The scam is getting, and where it became a community issue is her getting all different creators involved, her getting all of these different people involved in her scam. That's when it becomes a community issue. Does that make sense? Yes, we do, East Coast. I do know for a fact. Do I know for a fact what drug she's on? No, I don't. Do I know for a fact that Craig is enforcing her by gun to stay awake? And no, I don't. And she really is falling asleep? No, I wouldn't put my life on the line for it. Do I know for a fact that this drug test is fake? 100%. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I put my own channel on it. That's how sure I am.
Well, BJ wasn't willing to put her own channel on it, so
No,
ask yourself why
right.
that is.
But like I said, I can't say for sure that she's definitely on drugs and I'm going to bet my life on it. No, because literally Craig could be there with a gun telling her you're going to stay awake until you make $400 a night. And that's why she's falling asleep. It's possible. It's not out of the, it's highly unlikely, but possible. So I'm not going to, bet anything on that. But this drug test, yes, I know hands down this is 100% fabricated.
Michelle, where's the proof the
And if you
IRS
want me
has
to
been
call
called?
CPS and prove it, I can.
What I mean, here's the other thing that she's been floating around to her subscribers, which is she has no proof of. One, this whole lie of like the IRS has been contacted and Medicaid or who? Where's the proof that government agencies, other than the call that Dark Horse made and somebody else made to CPS after Craig was caught waving a gun in the around while intoxicated? Where's the proof that any other government agencies were contacted? She said it, but offered absolutely no proof. No, they wouldn't take your children if you have a
No,
positive drug test.
everyone thinks you could be on heroin and still keep your children. And there's many other factors. A lot of it also has to do with, do they have anywhere to place the kids? And here's
CPS,
the other thing. We don't know the truth of why Brittany doesn't have her other 3 kids. We don't know why they never lived with her. I'm sure she would never tell the whole story. Maybe that's a CPS issue too. I don't know. Not my business, but we don't know.
Noreen, you're missing the point. Where's the proof they weren't, though? You can't prove a negative, okay? Brittany is asking you to blindly believe that people contacted Medicaid, etc., on her without any fucking proof. Do you not get that?
And East Coast, I'm not saying it's not. And that's why I said it's not really my business. What I am saying is maybe CPS has been involved in her whole life. Maybe
said-
CPS has taken her other kids and they don't want to do that with these two. I don't know. And we'll never get the real story. And I don't really care. But I'm just showing a pattern. Why didn't she raise her other kids? Maybe CPS took them. We don't know. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. Who knows?
Yeah, don't go real life on anyone. Like, I, but Brittany has literally floated the idea out and accused people of contacting the authorities without any proof that they have. When we know other people contacted CPS, not Clue, not Queen, not Granny, etc. Yet who got the blame for it? When the person who contacted CPS came forward and said it was me, and that was Dark Horse initially, and then there was the last person after the gun incident.
She could have got the attorney for CPS, but I don't. This is just a personal feeling. You can't. It's just my opinion. I don't believe she got the attorney for anything. I think the attorney was a scam. I think she paid the guy, probably $100 to send out 2 C&Ds, and that's it. That's all you get. That's what I personally think. But I could be wrong. But if I connect the dots, that's what it is. Because if you're targeting more than one person and this guy charges thousands to go through YouTube or whatever, she doesn't have that kind of money to do, 4 different people or 3 or 4 different people. She doesn't have that. And she doesn't have that kind of money. And she's also lied about that. But I think she had to show something. She took money for a lot of stuff. She needed to show something. She sent out 2 bullshit C&Ds. CCC, I have a lawyer. It's never going to go anywhere. It means absolutely nothing. That's my opinion.
Also, ask yourself when Craig started getting all this new flashy shit and they started shopping for stuff. It was right after the Gibson Go was created.
Yep.
And for Noreen, who doesn't understand, scam equals people harmed. How was anyone harmed here? Someone giving financially money that they probably, may or may not have to give, really, to help Brittany out. Financial donations are harm if they are not for what they were proclaimed to be for. That's a scam.
She was grifting for petrol, so I wouldn't even expect her to be buying brand new computers. That's the other catch. Now, here's where it gets into it's not my business. It's possible that Craig has his own money. And because Craig has his own money, he's using his own money and not giving it to her. It's possible. I'm not going to question it. Not my business, but I'm just throwing scenarios out there.
Yeah, C&Ds don't cost what she raised
It's possible.
either.
No. Not even close.
Especially
phones,
if they go to the wrong
desktops,
people.
laptops, tablets.
I mean, some of y'all live in North Carolina. Please tell me when you've ever had your windows explode, like your car windows combust.
Never.
I lived in North Carolina too, and I never had any of that happen to me. I live even closer, like further south, where things are hotter than North Carolina. and I've never had my windows spontaneously combust.
And you know what, complicated? I do feel bad for Brenda Stapleton, but people have put enough info out there that she should use her head. It's not a matter of liking someone or not liking someone. At this point, there's enough information out there. BJ's number of CPS calls changes every day. First it was 2, then it was 3, and now I heard it's up to 4.
Well, related to like this recent stuff, she said that CPS has been, 4 different times. Like, this is her 4th time dealing with CPS. That was the latest story, at least.
Mm-hmm. Because it's true, there's always a different story. Every day, whenever she needs sympathy.
And that's also what happens with addiction. And when you're under the influence of medications, you don't remember what you said.
Yes, she did, Noreen. She asked money for the windows.
Mm-hmm. And then she kept giving all these excuses as to why she was going to go the next day. She's going to go the next day. It was that she also asked for money for her tooth. Every like 3 or 4 months, she somehow needs, like, her tooth starts bothering her as she's literally gulping down a very cold drink. Like, if I just don't get that as someone who is my dad's a dentist. Like, that's the last thing you're going to do if you have a true toothache, is start like finding a cold drink to sip on.
Try begging for mattresses. $500 for the windows. See, I don't know any. I'm with you, Bray.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Oh yeah, we had windows combusting. We had a $500 bladder for the well that they needed to buy.
$500.
Well bladder.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start
They've had
bribing.
all kinds.
Shit.
We started a list
I could
of
become
all
a.
the things. We started a list of all the things she asked for, like, during the summer, and it was very long. I mean,
No shit.
she needs to be asking for a fucking electric bug zapper. That's what I'd be asking for, if anything.
Sando said just last night her subs kept asking for Craig to be quiet, and he asked her if she wanted him to leave the room, and she said no.
How respectful, like, subs that of BJ's that are in here, I'm just wondering too, how respectful do you find it that Craig is in the background literally screaming out Duolingo? How cuánto cuesta 2 cervezas, por favor? And, as you're trying to talk about, a case, like, how does that distracting at all?
Well, is he? I don't watch her, but is he talking about the case?
No, he's in the background trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo. How many beers can I have? What if I can't pay the check? Literally. Talking about I can't pay the paycheck.
I don't know. To me, I find that funny. But that's it. But I don't watch him. So. But why doesn't she mute him? Why doesn't she go in another room?
This wasn't just one night that she was frustrated about Duolingo. He's been doing it all the time. And if it's not that, it's music that he's blaring extremely loudly. I think he's very aware of what's going on, Joshua. He just doesn't give a flying F.
Brady, you want a
Yeah.
link? And can you guys hear that I'm eating a lollipop? If you are, let me know. I mean, if you can't hear it, let me know. But I am hooked on these caramel apple lollipops from Kroger's. Oh, they're awesome.
They're perfect for a toothache.
Are they?
No.
Oh.
But
They're
no,
so good.
no, I'm just kidding. But that's the
It's
thing.
so
She'll talk
good.
about her toothache as she's eating gummy bears and candy. I mean, sorry, nobody with a toothache is eating gummy bears and swallowing it, washing it down with cold soda.
No, definitely not. Bree, who's giving you shit? You don't think UA's gotten shit? Who cares?
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's a
giving you
morphine
shit.
lollipop. I hate morphine. I took morphine once when I was in a car accident. Oh, I don't get you downer people. Now give me a meth lollipop, I might be all right. I have caught hell for even speaking. I'm getting nasty. Oh, you're not the only one. One of my members, that happened to her yesterday. She got threatened. Don't worry, Bree, we got you back. And that's another thing. If you have nothing to hide, then why are you worried? You know what I mean? I don't care where my fucking mods go. Not my mods. I don't care where people go. Go wherever the fuck you want.
Which casual art before she started camming up, how many times would she say that's me bumping into bumping into something because I'm scratching my leg? She's constantly scratching something. And that's, in my opinion, due to the opiates. Opiates cause you to itch. It's not a secret if you've taken them.
UA Crimps fam, a fellow Alabamian. I was told if I was back in your chat talking about Brittney, I would regret it. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm a bitch like that. I'd be like, all right, give me a link. But that's me.
How can I talk about her if I don't watch her? Because when she puts my name in her mouth and accuses me of drugs, and then people run with that. I mean, hell, I've been accused in this live by people that are subs of hers that listen to her accuse me of that without any proof. Then I'm definitely going to have her. I'm definitely going to be talking about it for sure.
She's always itching and scratch. All right. Noelle, can you explain that one? Why is she always itching and scratching? See, but I go back to the same thing I said before. I don't know why subs put up with it. And I don't know why she has 1,000 people watching her do all this.
I think her
what
numbers are
is
inflated.
wrong with you subs? Why would you rather watch that than, I don't know, myself, who fucking pays attention, reads chat, doesn't keep you on hold unless I've actually, something to like let the dogs in or something. And I get 200-300 now, but these other people get thousands. And Brittney is the most boring fucking person to watch in the entire universe. I don't get it.
Yeah, I heard that, Amy.
I just don't get it.
An allergic reaction from flea bites, mosquito bites, and then it was a woolly blanket.
And now she got bee bites like 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, how many, I don't know many people's houses that have like beehives in the walls.
Sally, when we're saying addict, we're not saying she's shooting dope on the side of the street. You can be an addict and not even do drugs. You could be addicted to food. You could be addicted to working. You could be addicted to a lot of things. Yeah, shopping. So please don't think, oh my God, she wouldn't have her kids. She is an addict. She already admitted she was an addict. I'm an addict. That's not the problem. But we do believe that she is 100% doing pills. And if you don't see it, I'm sorry. But it's pretty fucking evident. And if she is doing pills, doesn't mean she's going to automatically lose her kids.
Whatever she's doing is, it's necessary for her to create a fake drug test to put out, showing that
That's
she's
right.
not on anything.
With the real one right underneath.
Not true, niece. Opioids, if you are if you're an addict or a former addict, getting a prescription to something like Subutex is not that hard. And there are a lot of shit doctors out there that run like pill mills. I mean, they're getting busted by the FDA and DEA, but yeah, there's people out there that are doctors that are shams and that run sham pain clinics.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, for $300 a month, they're willing to write you out a prescription, you know, and trying to keep track of all these shady ass doctors is hard sometimes for the DEA to do.
Let me show you guys something. Hold on. Whoop.
Subutex can also be abused.
Oh.
You can get high from Subutex if you take it more than you should. That's why, like, when I go to pull Subutex, I have to count it all the time. Like, I'm doing a count on that because people will abuse it. Stuff like gabapentin is being abused now. Even Phenergan has started to become more abused. Correct. Like, it's so that you don't have withdrawals. So it mimics the substance that you would be withdrawing from, which is an opiate. Yeah, I do. I mean, Subutex is actually really, it's really common. And there's also, people will talk about, her having something under her tongue that dissolves. It's something that dissolves under your tongue. And you can abuse any drug. It's just some are more likely and prone to abuse because of their effects at getting people these highs of whatever. That's true as well, Jessica. Like, you can, if you don't take your medication like you're supposed to, then, when you take it again, it does give you that high. Yeah, Phenergan is very common in terms of abuse now. And doctors are gravitating towards Zofran and Reglan now for nausea. Michelle K., I don't like the dogpiling either, but at the same time, she is kind of, by doing the behaviors that she's doing and the shit that she's doing, she's kind of asking for it. I mean,
That wasn't
I
right.
think I think what she's doing now by trying to send C&Ds, or by sending C&Ds to Clue and Granny, is the dumbest thing she could do. It was the dumbest thing that she could have done. It is,
I agree with that.
especially because it's going to be looked at by the courts in Pennsylvania as coming after Granny only out of retaliation for losing the RICO. filing. It's going to be like looked at as if she's venue shopping, and that's never a good look, especially when a judge is fucking clearly fed up with the plaintiffs, because from my understanding, Joseph Lesniak didn't exactly show up prepared for that court.
All right. This is what I was looking for.
Yes, it would be a civil lawsuit, and that's what she keeps saying too, and Craig doesn't understand. He keeps talking about criminal stuff. There's not criminal shit going on. I mean, not where it meets the elements of the law. Defamation isn't criminal. Defamation is a fucking an
Civil.
intentional infliction of emotional distress, also civil. All of these are civil causes of action that also are very hard to prove with a ton of evidence. Like, I have gone to trial with intentional infliction of emotional distress. Brittney doesn't have any of these fucking elements to meet it.
Now, I want to show you guys something. It's only a 3-minute video. I'm going to play it in full. The reason I'm playing it, I know you guys have probably seen it. I know I've played it before. Someone like Noreen, I want you to show me how this is someone that's tired. This happened 11 months ago, almost an entire year, and not a fucking thing has changed. But keep supporting this, but tell me how it's not drugs.
Do an update. They're trying. They named the channel The Nod. I just want you to look at this. Is a classic case of manipulation. You're going to sit there and yeah, harassment at its finest. But they got Nana and they've got reality sounding drunk. Well, because that's a part of. They got to make it look worse than what it is, because they're going to try to make me look like I'm all googly and just tore up. I'm going to show y'all the real version. Jesus. What are they called? Okay, so right here. One of you asked me in chat what the name of my glasses were. When I'm trying to think about something, I close my eyes. A lot of the times, I'll do them like this. Like, I'll squint my eyes hard trying to think. If you look at this, I close my eyes trying to remember the name of the damn glasses. And you're saying, look at that.
It looks like they manipulated the video.
I got them from LensSmart. It's 100% manipulated. They slowed the video down. So then they slow the video down and watch. You clearly see. When I found out this is what they're using and thinking, I close my eyes. I'm trying to remember, and then I'm like, called? What are they? Hold on.
Adult conversation about it. Nobody's attacking anybody. Just clarify.
Okay, right. All right, right here. Says, once again, I want you to listen to the audio. This shit is slowed down so badly, and this is the second time they're saying I'm nodding. Watch when I bump the microphone. I want you to keep in mind it's very slowed down to make me appear like I'm when you slow a video down, and then I'm going to tell you what I was doing when I bumped the microphone. But hold on, go ahead. Watch. You see my arm right there? I'm holding on to the side of the chair. Let me play it one more time, and I'm going to tell you what I was doing. I wasn't going the F to sleep. Was I tired? Absolutely. What, did I nod off? No. And I'm about to tell you, but let me show it. Hold on.
I don't recall any.
How does this allude to somebody being on drugs?
We're just checking. You just look tired to me.
I was tired, but not.
But
I wasn't there. I don't know, father.
No, I'm saying you just have tired eyes. Like, you look exhausted.
I was tired.
I don't recall any.
Yeah, what accusations? Wait, I'm going to show you what I was doing. Hold on. He says, yeah, what accusations exactly do we make? Because
I don't recall any.
I don't either.
We're just checking.
All right, right there. What I'm doing right here, see, I'm reaching down to scratch my leg. That's why I bumped the fucking microphone. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that's not to your liking, and I'm sorry that I was tired, but I wasn't going to sleep. Was I sleepy? Yes, I was sleepy.
Now, to her supporters, again, this was almost a year ago. It was October of 2024. Have a good day, Casual Art. Explain to me how you like getting lied to, because she then came clean. Oh, yeah, I fell asleep. After she couldn't deny it anymore, but she denied it for almost an entire fucking year. Almost an entire year, she denied falling asleep. Let me let you know a little secret that you teach your kids. If you have nothing to hide, you don't need to lie. Just remember that. Yeah, it's scratching that leg back in October of 2024. But people who have nothing to hide don't need to lie. I think it would have been funny if she just said, yeah, I face palmed my fucking microphone because I fell asleep. I would have. I'd be like, whoops, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
But instead of just being embarrassed and just being like, oh my God, I can't believe I fucking face planted my damn microphone, you just own it. Okay. I mean, that would be like me earlier when I didn't realize that my camera was on when I did moons. That'd be like me trying to give you guys a whole song and dance about why my hair isn't as long as it was the other night and lying about it. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, who cares? So you face planted. Big deal. Yeah, what she did the other night was fucking gross. I can't get on board with the gaslighting of your own kid. I can't.
No.
It's just
That's
fucked up.
that is ridiculous. And even her kid can't get on board with it either. I mean, he's like fighting back and saying, like, I know what I saw at the same time. Like, because she tries to say,
Yep.
I was texting, your sister. And he's like, no, but your head was nodding. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but it's like that is something that kid is going to remember. My mom always lied to me and she would try to gaslight me to think that she wasn't an addict when she really was. Like,
Yep.
that is more damaging, honestly, in my opinion, than anything else, because you're supposed to be able to trust your parents. And your parents are supposed to be the ones setting the example of do not lie.
Yep.
And her parent, like their parents, Brittney, is setting an example for them that it's okay to lie to people as long as it's in your best interest to do so.
Yep. No, I'm sorry, but I really do have a problem with what she did with her kid. I do. I think that is absolutely vile. Like, the kid was sitting there like, huh? That is the type of kid that will never have a true relationship. He will never have a solid relationship with a female because he will think that every bitch is a liar, scammer, piece of shit. Like, it's just horrible. And that just makes me sad for the kid. It really does. I mean, I do. I feel bad for that kid. And that's the type of man that you meet later in life. Oh, my mom was a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. I agree, Claudia. Claudia's right. For those that are saying, stuff about the kid, the interaction wouldn't be there if we didn't hear it. But I don't see how anybody could even defend that.
It was beneficial for her to let us hear it, and that's why she didn't mute. She needed to, I think she didn't expect her kid to say anything back to her regarding like what he saw that showed to him that she was not, just texting the daughter, um, and she wanted him to basically validate the story of I was just texting, and then she says, "Hey, you need to look at me before you accuse me of something." Like, it's ridiculous. Some of the things that these children have also like been subjected to hearing that they should never have to fucking hear from their own mother. If people are saying stuff about her parenting or whatever, and that is in some ways, like, could be taken by a child as negative, why are you saying it in front of your child? Like, why would you do that? Why do you need to instill fear in your kids by trying to bring out things that aren't even happening? I remember the day that she had the live where she the title was very ominous. I think that was the day that Dark Horse called. And she was like sad fishing. And, I'm like, well, you can't really get online with that title, say the things that she said, act the way that you're acting, and people not be concerned. Now, I mean, it is what it is, but shit, like, I don't know.
Jessica, don't fall asleep with a cigarette in your hand.
Yeah, that's dangerous for sure. Put the cigarette out if you start feeling sleepy. I've seen plenty, like, on addiction, plenty, like, intervention, plenty of people do that.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Audacity's going to find a video. But that's just, I think that bothers me as much as the scamming. Like,
Yeah.
I know as a kid as a person who has kids with bad dads, well, one dead dad, I knew that I had to work twice as hard. I knew that if I wasn't 10 times more of the mom that I needed to be, all three of my kids were going to grow up feeling empty because their fathers were assholes. One of them was a good father, but he couldn't emotionally connect. And I knew that my son was going to need that emotional connection. And I worked twice as hard for him to have it.
Did any
And
of
then,
y'all,
and then
Lauren,
it was fine.
do you remember, speaking of the emotional connection, there was a time, and this was extremely sad, where Brittney, I don't think she realized what she was really saying when she said it in that moment, but she talked about her child needing to tell her something. But he said he had to wait a week for her to be in a good enough mood where he felt that he could tell her or talk to her about it. Does anyone remember that?
Hold on. Niece, I think you mean to write, nobody can say Laura isn't a great mom. You wrote, nobody can't say. She
No.
said, Starlight said it was about his YouTube account.
Yes, about him having a YouTube account, and he said that he waited, for her to be in a good enough mood where he felt like he could talk to her. And that tells me, in terms of when you were talking about, like, the emotional connection, with between like parents and kids.
Yeah.
Parents, kids need to feel safe talking to their parents. And that, Brittney, I don't think when she was telling that story that she realized really what she was saying when she was telling it. Spoke more about her and the kids feeling uncomfortable coming to her than it did about people talking about the YouTube account, because it wasn't about that for most people.
Wow. And that's heartbreaking. It is. That's sad. Like, especially with a mom. And if you have a fucked up dad, your kids need you to be 10 times harder.
There was another thing where she said it was a week, but there was I guess it was a year, because he did have that. I know the YouTube account had existed for longer than a week, but there was something where he said that he was going to tell her, and he didn't. because he was waiting for her to, you know.
See, Claudia, you bring up a good point, though, and I'm not going to disagree with that. People get mad that people critique, and again, I said this last night, and this pertains to me too. People talk about everything my kids have said. There were videos made of my kids fighting in the background. It is what it is. Once you're a target, they're going to find anything and everything. My kids were accused of heinous shit. And no, niece. And the bottom line is that you don't, not that, you mute your kids. I don't mute them. But you learn to have to expect it if people are talking about you. And if you're a target, you have to do things to not give them check marks. And like I've said in the past, she gives her haters check marks, which is why her haters think she enjoys it. She likes it. Because why don't you take your computer and go into another room? Why don't you take your computer? I mean, she said yesterday or the other day, her kid's right behind her. I thought he wasn't allowed in your office. Is this really an office? Are you in the middle of the fucking living room? You know what I mean? I just think it's all fake. It's not like her and her family go out and do things. Why doesn't she go live earlier? Why is she only going live 12 o'clock at night? It's not like your kids are sleeping. It just, none of it makes sense. And I heard, and that's another thing, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Soup. I heard somebody talk about, you can't just turn it off when you go offline. That's actually not true. I could be fighting with someone tooth and nail. As soon as I hit that end live, I'm a different person. I'm back to me. So if you're a good YouTuber, you know how to turn it on and off. Just saying. Yeah, do morning streams when the kids go to school. Like, it's not like she does anything else. Yes, parenting requires active involvement. I agree with that. Now, I'm going to argue that too. I have a son that is an active gamer. Active gamer. You guys know, you've heard him screaming in the background. He's always been a gamer. It's what he likes. Did that stop him from going out? No. Did we do tons of family shit? Absolutely. But does a kid game or does he watch TV? My son does both. But it's up to you as a parent to engage with them and do other things with them if they're home, they're going to be in front of a computer. You know what I'm saying? And again, it comes back to parenting. It's not that your kid plays a lot of video games. It's parenting. And I think that gets missed a lot.
And two, having I remember there was one time where they were giving out Roblox money to the kids, and Roblox it had just come out about the dangers of Roblox too, in the news. And with Brittney being in true crime, there's ways that kids can contact, other people on these apps. And I don't know, it just seemed like maybe there was just, that was the babysitter, is how it kind of came across. I had a friend that just found out his daughter, because I was asking, going through my closet and stuff, trying to get rid of clothes and things I don't want. And I asked he has a 12-year-old daughter. She's not supposed to have social media. I was like, well, surely she has a Pinterest account. Surely she's probably got an Instagram. And sure enough, he picked her up from her mom's house, opens the door to her room at one point during the night, and sees her on her iPad, and she's stuffing it away. and she had all of the social media accounts, and she was talking to someone that she thinks is this older lady, but that older lady was saying, I love you and I can't wait to hang out, and just all these weird things that an older woman isn't going to be saying to a young girl typically. Especially knowing that that young girl is hiding her social media presence from her parents is just very weird about that. And she made some very concerning and disturbing videos. And that's where, like, not gaslighting your kids is very important.
Hold on. Jessica, interesting comment by you. You said, I can understand lying about it. Yes, because you're an addict. That's our point. Active addiction or someone that's truly an addict can admit, yeah, I'd probably lie about it, or I'd understand lying about it. That's the whole point. Is that she lies and denies everything. Audacity, where did you go? Said she went to look for a video. Yeah, she still lies about everything. I agree with that, sweet Steva.
She manipulates it to be in her advantage. I think for her, being a victim has worked to her advantage because I think everyone at some point in their life can resonate with a time where they didn't necessarily feel like they fit in, whether that be in, when you were a teenager, if you were bullied or didn't sit at the cool kids table and you felt ostracized in some way. And, so people do have this tendency to pull for the underdog. And Brittney, in my opinion, has lied in order to continue to be the quote unquote underdog in her own story, to get people to empathize with her. And, especially if you're a listener and you're tapping into how, like, your emotions and how you felt when you were being picked on or bullied at school, and then you resonate or identify with Brittney because you see her as being picked on or bullied relentlessly or whatever by all these people on YouTube, you're more likely to pull out your pocketbooks and give to her. You're more likely to tune in every night. You're more likely to support her and listen to her when she's not even there. In reality, she's just talking about roller skating and butterflies and wigs. Like, you're more likely to give her grace when you shouldn't give her grace, and overlook lies that are clearly lies when you're that part of you that's reasonable and has has a sense of logic and can say something isn't right about this. You're more likely to push that down because, of your own personal experiences.
I agree with that. Audacity, where'd you go? I've been on 3 hours. I swear, I was only staying on an hour. Right, Fluffy?
And also, a lot of people that are drawn to true crime have their own trauma in their past as well. I've talked about that before on TikTok.
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
Yes, I added a few wrenches. Rules are don't block anyone. I'll do the blocking because, as you guys know, I can watch chat. But I need mods that are in here. My mods, Patreons have been here forever. And they're getting bored. Like, we need more mods. So, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. And take that, Brittney. Now, Kristen is a mod. So if you have a problem with her, you need to come to me. So there's that.
But
Uh,
I don't know. It's just something that I've noticed, and I'm curious to see how, if she's gonna address it, what was pointed out, like in the live last night, and again today, or if she's gonna try and sweep it under the rug.
That's a good question. I do wonder. I wonder if I was surprised she didn't address it last night. And that's why I'm like, more people need to
Well,
talk about it.
Well, what happened last night, Laura? There was all of a sudden a crisis.
That's true.
Remember? Someone even said, like, when this comes up, there's going to be something a crisis that's going to distract from it, but
That's
there
true.
was something that literally gave her a reason to, I mean, whether that I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not in her house, but, that was, I think there's a reason too. I looked at the timing of yesterday during the live of Laura's that she
Wait,
held, as well as today when when her mod showed up. What was going on?
What was her crisis last night? I forgot. I didn't watch.
The kid was
forgot. What went on last night?
mosquitoes. It was mosquitoes, and then allergic reaction. To
I didn't know
woolly
any of that.
blanket.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, all of a sudden her kid was having a allergic reaction to a woolly blanket and had whelps.
Why would he be in a woolly blanket?
I have no clue.
Why would he be in a woolly blanket in fucking September?
I have no clue. It was either that or the mosquitoes.
Or the bee bite.
Or
Are you welcome, Amy? Yeah, didn't she say she got bit again on the back of her neck or something?
I think so. I mean, they've got a whole hive of these bees, I guess. I mean, I've never seen so many bee bites.
Yeah, I heard that on QB today. That this is like her third bee bite recently, and her neck is all swollen. She had an allergic reaction to a bee bite on her neck or something. Yeah. Something like that.
She claimed she got stung in the jugular one time by a bee.
Did she really?
That's what she said.
Damn. See, I didn't know any of that. They don't go anywhere, get bed bugs, so never mind. Well, you could still get them if you don't go anywhere. I lived in a house 15 years. Took me 10 years to figure out how to hive in my wall. You know what's so funny, though? How many fucking excuses do her supporters make? You don't even make logical sense. You just keep making excuse after excuse after excuse.
Don't give them a challenge because they'll accept it. And I can only imagine our next creative excuse that they could come up with. But think about it too, Laura, how Kelsey knew to come to this live. Right?
No.
Last night.
I think Kelsey's she's a member, so she's going to get notification.
Right. But there's also people that she's not subbed up to where she's gone in and tried to defend. I don't think too that, I mean, there's plenty of channels that people are members to, but the timing of which people show up,
I
think is very not coincidental.
I agree with that. I'll agree with that.
And then she disappeared when, everyone was asking her to send the document then.
True.
Goes MIA.
Yeah, she never did send it. I wonder why. But she did say that there was something on the bottom of it, which it doesn't matter. The rest is fake.
she was trying to say it was the same one, or in this live, she said it was the same one that Angela had already sent, but she wasn't. How does she know what Angela had already sent? Because she never returned the rest
Well, I
of
showed
last
it
night's live.
Oh.
Well, she never returned. She was gone.
I think I can answer that though. Because according to Moon yesterday, or Angela, or one of them, or both of them, it didn't actually come from Brittney. It came from one of her mods. So I'm assuming it came from her I'm assuming that
Kelsey?
it came from Kelsey, yeah. And that's why she would know that it was the same thing. I try writing a comment on BJ channel about she's embarrassing her family. It was deleted. I would delete it too, though.
I mean,
See what happens when you're tired? You yawn.
yeah.
Here's the thing too that I think people should hear. There's a big difference between debating a creator and just having an opinion and being an asshole. I welcome debate. I welcome people to, leave me comments that I can answer. But if you're just a blatant fucking asshole, you're a horrible mom. It's just going to be deleted. I know a lot of creators don't like debating at all, so that's where I'm a little different. But yeah, I don't doubt that stuff's going to be deleted because mods can delete too. Some of your mods can delete things too. But saying, someone's embarrassing your family, I delete it too. If you wrote something in depth about why, like Brittney, if you would do this, this, and this, then maybe not. I mean, I wouldn't delete something like that if it's an intelligent comment. And yours very well might be. Yeah, if you're nice about it, then you should be fine. I mean, for other creators, you would be fine. Some creators don't even look at their comment section and just let people write whatever they want. I am not one of them.
Yeah. I don't know. She's never been open to having like discussion or anything that I've seen. She's always had like a guard dog on her panel. The only time that I've noticed where she lets people up that disagree with her is when she has a full panel of people that are ready there and they're to basically do it for her.
Yeah.
Like when she had Mischief who would yell at me. And
I didn't like Mischief.
Mischief. I rebuke you, bitch. God. Or reality, to mods, get working, get to work, block everybody. Laura. Testing 1 2. I wonder if is Laura okay? Can y'all hear me? Because I don't know where Laura went.
Yeah, it was me. Couldn't hear. I don't understand why so many people, like 500, 600 people. Yeah, I nodded off. 500 or 600 people will sit there and watch someone just read an article. Like, if you're not going to interject your own feelings and your own personality and why watch a creator? You can go read your own shit. You know what I mean? I'll never understand that. And I see it a lot.
I think if those numbers aren't inflated, it's because people like to watch a train wreck And honestly, some of it is she going to be able to make it through the article without falling asleep?
True. I don't know. She gets on my nerves too much. Like, I can handle, like, to me, Betty is a train wreck. She just lies. She's fucking animated. She's like, rah, 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 rah. To me, that's a train wreck. Brittney, to me, is just, honestly, just a fucking waste. Because I can't, my ADHD does not allow, hold on, being in the middle of some, oh, I just want to say, and then shut up. And then you're like, hello, are you there? It's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, she does repeat a lot of the same stuff. Or when she's watching a video, she'll go back and, you know, replay the same part over and over and over again.
Probably because she nodded out.
Yeah, but that was her thinking. That wasn't a nod, Laura. Everybody closes their eyes when they think and hits the mic. If anything, the next time she says she has a toothache, I'll think the likelihood is more from hitting the mic with her tooth than anything. I would believe that.
She has Medicaid. She should have no excuse for a toothache. None. Zero. Zilch.
Well,
You have Medicaid. It's not like you have to pay for a dentist.
The kids, if the kids have Medicaid. Now, adults usually, unless you're pregnant, I don't know if she has it herself.
Well, I don't think her and I think it's one of the reasons Craig doesn't work. You have 2 unemployed people, they're getting full state benefits.
Well, one of them has to file taxes with the YouTube channel.
Or Audacity pulled through. Woohoo! Thank you, Audacity. Hold on. Start at 9.
Tiff, are you
hold
the
on.
Tiff that came up and called Jay, "You're 50, Jay. You're old.
Who?
You're too old for this, Jay." Tiff from Texas.
All right. So we're going to listen to this, and then I'm going to get off. But thank you, Audacity. How long is it? Medicaid Virginia doesn't cover any. Yeah, but in North Carolina, they look like they do pretty good.
Medicaid for kids is fucking the cat's meow in North Carolina. Like,
Hell yeah.
braces and everything.
Yep.
I worked for a dental office up there, and believe me, all those fuckers they were getting braces and ortho, all that for free.
All right. We're going to listen to this. Hold on.
Glasses. I need my glasses so we can get started. Hi, Sparkleberry. I don't know. Is my chat going to do this again? This whole freezing thing? I cannot, bro.
Thank you, Love and Light. Why does she always say it? There's nothing wrong with the fucking chat, Brittany. Just stop.
She stops, looks at the camera, and then smashes her face. That is multiple times. It's something very intense. Now the original title
Mom, you're sleeping.
Honey, no, I'm not. Give me 1 second, guys. Please. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Baby, I'm not sleeping.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find my glasses and you, oh my Lord. So let me tell y'all this.
How in the fuck do you tell your kid you're looking for your glasses and he's like, well, what are you doing if you're not sleeping? Are you fucking kidding me? Keep supporting this. And people that support this tells me you hate children.
Because they're going to run with that. My son is behind me on the couch. He can't see me. And I'm getting quiet and he's scared that I'm falling asleep because then he'll be awake by himself. So for the haters that want to run with it, go ahead. You're going to run with it anyway. Y'all always do. So yeah, that's the whole thing with that. Neil's having a tough night. And I don't know. Anyway, give me a second. Let me grab my glasses. I thought.
Let me go yell at my kid and tell him to shut the fuck up. Exactly. He can hear you. This is straight gaslighting. This is so gross. But all you Brittney supporters, you keep fucking supporting this, assholes.
They were down here under my desk. I had a second pair. I was trying to make it where I didn't have to go in the other room and put y'all on hold, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to because my other glasses aren't in here. So give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Woohoo! My dues. Thank you, Rack Jim. Audacity, when is this from? How big is your desk? Now remember, this is the beginning of a live. Like the very beginning. Which makes it even sicker. How much you want to bet she's sleeping or yelling at the kid?
I'd say yelling at the kid.
You think she's yelling at the kid?
Yeah.
Beginning of a live, she's already falling asleep. And the live goes on for 3.5 hours. How fast do you think she fell asleep? How many times do you think she's going to fall asleep?
This
This was recent, last week or two. Oh, no shit. And then for her to say that it's him, that he doesn't want to sleep without her? What? Look, I'll be honest with you. If my kid couldn't sleep without me, I'm not going to sit on a fucking live stream while my kid needs me to sleep with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just gross. Like, if your kid needs you, then go to sleep with them. But don't sit on a fucking live. But I love the way he said that. I'm not even having a pause. This is all her. I love how, well, what are you doing then? It's like even the kid is fucking frustrated.
Yeah.
It is some weird crap. I agree. Maybe, no, you're not blocked. Maybe she's taking a little nap.
She's thinking.
I mean, this is like 4 minutes she's on hold already. That's a long time. My son slept more often in my bed than not until he was like 6. I couldn't imagine doing anything else but helping. That's what I'm saying. If your kid is having trouble sleeping, then stay on a live with them. Like, not stay on a live. Stay in bed with them. Get them to sleep. Don't sit on a live and talk. Boyd, I know. I saw you sticking up for her. I don't hate you for it. It is so disrespectful to subs, love, and light. That's what I say. We're going on like 6 minutes already. I just love the way a kid said that. Well, what are you doing then? You can't mistake sleeping and looking for glasses. It's just not even logical. You know what I mean? Like, you can't
Right.
even put that together.
Right.
I could see, like, being on a phone, looking down. I could go with that. But I'm looking for my glasses and the kid saying, "Mom, wake up." You know damn well she forces him in there to wake her up. Thank you, Boyd. I'm not here to hate anybody. This was August 25th. So about a month ago. Sativ, I agree with that. Kids are honest. We're going on 7 minutes. We're only 15 minutes in. So far, half of it, she's been on hold. She and Craig both said no. But I'm telling you, they're on social services. That's why neither one of them work. Eight minutes. Doop, 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 doop. My life is just picture perfect. Karma's a bitch. UA's life is picture perfect.
No, actually, my car something got into my car.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like, and destroy the engine. So it's gonna be more expensive to like do all the work that needs to be done because the engine has to come out and all the other things.
Ouch.
So it basically totaled my fucking car.
That's not good.
But other than that, you know.
Oh my goodness. Can you hear me now? I'm over here talking away.
Sure you were.
Thank God. Oh my God, I was in an accident in my truck and I haven't been here for like 2 months. I hope you are well. What did you? Oh my Lord. Well, I'm sorry that I'm glad you're all right. Hope you're okay. I've not. Jesus, get out of my chat. I'm not going to do trolls tonight. I'm not going to do trolls any night. And I'm done. I'm not going to. There ain't nobody in their mama that's nodded off. I specifically said, hang on a minute. Let me go get my glasses. For those of you that were patient and not, saying things like that. Can you guys hear me? Please tell me you can hear me. And Sweet Jelly Bean, I'm glad that you're okay. Were you hospitalized? Was it bad? That's terrible. Keep her informed that Bombshell Reloaded is a sub poaching from her. Bean, that's the one who went on your panel and started. You know what I mean? And some crickets and some, good, decent people. Oh man, it's good. It's a good time. Diana, I'm so happy that you got to have was out of jail to begin with. You know what? I don't even care. I don't care. Hunty, homegirl.
Seth,
I noticed they put him in front of the Texas Roadhouse. A second. So we got that.
Now, the reason I was skipping around, because when I do it from my phone and I skip around, every single time I skip around, it's silent. So that's what I was just showing. But what we were showing now, boy, I'll go back and show you. This is what I was playing.
Let me see. Hey, Candy. Welcome. Thank you. Come on in, you guys. Okay, I need to get my glasses. I need my glasses so we can get started. Hi, Sparkleberry. I don't know. Is my chat going to do this again? This whole freezing thing? I cannot, bro.
Mom, you're sleeping.
Honey, no, I'm not. Give me 1 second, guys, please. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Baby, I'm not sleeping.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find my glasses and oh my Lord. So let me
That's what I was listening at, boy. That is disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Gaslighting your own child. Gross. But that's what I was looking for. That's what I was reviewing. Exactly. Right, boy? Exactly. It is gross. Nobody should gaslight their own child. Yeah, Kelly, you can hear it. I just think it was funny the way he said that. Then what are you doing? No, Brittany, you're not looking for glasses. I think your kid would know the difference. And it's just sad that the kid was, just normal kid. People that don't mess with TC gave vids. She is messing up the boy's life, but it's not my kid, so it doesn't mean I'm not going to point it out. But on that note, I have been on 3.5 hours. I am going to head out. He does sound more mature than her. I agree with that, Kelly.
Yeah.
UA?
And he sounds like he knows what telling the truth is like,
Yep. And you can tell he was like frustrated that he wanted to tell the truth and he called her out. Like, well, what are you doing then? Like, it was so fucking obvious he was sleeping. We know he was sleeping.
Right.
Like, give me a fucking break.
Brittany, set a better example for your kids, please. Don't
I
ask them to
agree.
cover for you.
See, I was listening for the snoring. I couldn't really hear it, but
I could hear the breathing and the sounds, the depressed. Yep. Yeah. You can hear her going into like respiratory depression and like it was like a light snore, but yeah, you could hear it. It was definitely audible.
Crazy. All right.
But yeah.
I'm going to get off. I got stuff to do. I got to wrap some orders. Holly, I did get yours. Yours being made tonight. I just got to get these other orders out. Because some of them have to be out by tomorrow. So I will not be on later tonight. I just want to let you guys know unless something happens. But UA, type in chat. Because I was gonna make you a mod too, but I didn't see you.
Just typed in chat.
All right, there you are. I'm gonna go over here. Boop, boop, boop.
But yeah, the reason I care is honestly, I too don't want her kid to one day not be able to wake her up too.
That's true too. And then for her to lie though and say, yeah, I just want you to know that, he needs me to sleep with him. No, Brittany, you need him to wake you. And he hears everything, but he doesn't know what's going on, right? He don't know what's going on. You keep everything from him, right, Brittany? So disgusting. But all right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. I gotta go take a shower and go to the supermarket. Yeah, mods. I'm gonna have a mod meeting later on today. I did make a few new mods. I gotta add you who's not in there into member Discord. Don't forget to, there's also Patreon. I know I have a few new Patreons. We have Patreon Discord, member Discord, but all the meetings and stuff are in member Discord. And my chat now. No, sometime later I'll post it on my community wall. That I'll give you guys the link for member Discord, and I will see you all tomorrow. And welcome to mod. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
Bye.
And thank you guys for super chats. Also, thank you, UA, for saving me before I blew up earlier because I was about to. And I don't think we could have laid it out any better. Hey, Jamal, I think the first half of this live, everything was laid out so perfectly that if you can't see it, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. The writing is on the wall and it's as clear as glass. All right. All right. I got candles to go wrap and make, and I will see you guys later. Peace. And don't forget, hit the thumbs up on your way out and make sure you hype the video.